Did you ever wonder how power is delivered? We have here a power system where power is delivered from the generating plant to the residential or any energy consumers. First, let's talk about transmission. When power is generated in the power plants, it is transformed using this step-up transmission substation. Basically, we have a transformer here. So we transform current and voltage. So the current, we know, makes the wire dependent, meaning the wire that we're going to use for the transmission lines depends on the amount of current, meaning the higher the current, the bigger the wire. And we know that the wires are very expensive. So this transformer here transform the current, lowers the current by increasing the voltage, thus remaining the power the same. Again, the voltage is increased while the current is decreased so that the wire that we're going to use is very thin. So transmission is a part of the power system from the generating plant to the, we call this one the subtransmission or distribution system. Okay, so basically this is a very high voltage transmission. So you can see here this one in most of the rural areas or from the generating company going to the distribution company. So that is transmission. Okay, we also have what is so called subtransmission. So subtransmission is basically transmission but with a lower voltage. Basically, some of the areas doesn't have subtransmission, but it's good to know that there's a part of transmission with a lower voltage because the transmission may be there might be many subtransmission lines connected to the transmission lines. Okay, this one is 69,000 volts, while the transmission lines 138,000 volts. Now, for the subtransmission lines, so there are some industrial customers that tap the power from this system. So most of the time, the industrial consumers or those who consume a lot of energy for their business. Then we have the primary distribution. So this is what we learn about distribution utilities or distribution companies. So basically they are the front end of the power system before the customers. So we have three different types of customers: residential, commercial, and industrial. So the one who will distribute the energy or the power to the customers is what we call the distribution utility. So this kind of power system, if you notice, it's compared to the transmission system, this is a bit lower volts. So sometimes or most of the time 23,000 volts. So lower than the transmission lines. And also you can see that the tower is not as big as in the transmission system or subtransmission systems. Okay, and then lastly, we have here substation. So these are the places where the transformers are placed, and you know that the voltage is transformed as well as the current. Okay, here from generating to transmission, so the voltage is increased while the current is decreased. And here we transform also the voltage from higher to a bit lower, and thus increasing a bit of current. And then we also transform in the distribution substation. Basically, the jurisdiction of the transmission system is from this transformer or substation here to the step down transmission substation. So this is the boundary of transmission system, while subtransmission system is in this boundary. And then for the distribution utilities or distribution system, the boundary is between the distribution substation and the metering of the customer. Okay? Sorry, just to be clear, we have step up, meaning increase the voltage, step down, lower the voltage. And then we have the secondary distribution. This is optional in some places, especially in urban places. So we have secondary secondary distribution system. Some of it are underground distribution lines. Okay, so we can see this one in most of the cities where the overhead line here like this is not common or it's not good to look at. Okay, so basically this is still part of distribution system, but you can call it secondary distribution system. That's it. That is how power is delivered. So from generation company to transmission system, and we have sub-transmission system, then go to the distribution system to the customers, or secondary distribution system to the customers. That's it. That is how power is delivered. Take note that the transformation of voltage and current really matters in delivering power to the customers. Thank you for watching.